And then, so how does anxiety relate to everything that you're talking about?
Um, I think if I'm have those like thoughts in my head, then like anxiety can be like a layer of like fog on top of that. Or just like a layer of buzziness on top of that. So I think if I'm already feeling like I'm not as good enough, like what's going on? And then I have to like meet with someone at work, that like thought is in my head. And then I'm already conscious. I'm like super conscious of then how I'm reacting to things they're saying, how they're reacting to me. And then it creates just like a even worse kind of like feedback loop. Where I think the anxiety makes me like hypersensitive to anything I'm doing or other people are doing. And then I relate it back to like these negative feelings.
Really good description. What do you do to manage anxiety?
I think it's like what we talked about, where I think the first step is almost like getting to that first thought. And then like if I can just like deconstruct that first negative thought or get distance from it, the anxiety fog kind of like melts away on top of that. So I think like we were saying, like a helpful thing is like I have this like women monthly career chat thing. And then just having that space to be able, like, yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm just like not measuring up or I'm not good enough. And then having other women being like, oh my God, yes, like this is a thought that goes through my head too. It's then like once that negative thought is shattered, it's a lot easier then to be less anxious in like interactions and stuff.
Yes, that's wonderful. And in any given day, I can imagine getting perspective would be something like, I don't have to answer this email right away. I can notice that it's here, but I don't have to prove myself that I'm worthy in any given moment.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. And then I think once I realize that it's there, then just like setting intentions and like boundaries for like the rest of the week is helpful. So I feel like even this week we talked earlier about like, yeah, I'm definitely feeling like a little competitive with coworkers. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give myself like an extra hour in the day, just like knowing that I'm in the space, like planning to go for a run at a certain point, planning to sign off at a certain point. So just being like hyper aware, I think, when I know I'm a little bit more sensitive than other times.
So what I'm hearing in terms of major growth is the transition from the depressed me is the real me, and also the transition from what I like what I'm feeling not only is who I am, but it's also what I'll experience from here on out. It's the truth about me. So I hear that you've shifted to these are practices over time that so rather than I'm supposed to be a certain way. Once I have a certain insight, then I'm never going to ruminate again. I'm never going to feel like I'm not good enough again. I'm never going to feel anxious again. It seems like you've shifted to this is a narrative that is, based on my history and sometimes shows up when I'm stressed. I know how to like manage my lifestyle so that it's not likely to occur, but when it does occur, I know what to do. I know how to get distance. I know how to bounce back. And so you're not helpless or hopeless when you have either a low mood and high emotional reactivity or anxiety, but rather you're just kind of, again, like taking it in stride as part of who you are. Does that summarize how you experience yourself?
Yeah.
And do you want to say more about both shifting this, like your low mood away from this is the true me, and then also practicing these skills over time?
Um, yeah, I'm not sure what to say. I guess it's just like a lot, it feels a lot better to go through life not feeling like that's my true self. So I feel like that's been a major plus. And then I think another like big eye-opening thing is just like in talking to people, or I feel like in the past I never felt comfortable like sharing that I even have these thoughts. But I think like in time feeling more comfortable being like, hey, sometimes these are thoughts that I've had. I've been surprised at how often other people are like, either like, oh, me too, or like, oh, you should like call me the next time you feel that way. Like you shouldn't have to feel that way alone. So I think that's been like a big eye opener too, and then makes it a lot easier when you have these feelings to like not have to go through it alone.
Yeah, it's a great example of overcoming shame. that not only did it feel like it was the real you, you felt shame about that real you. And so that this transition to like, this isn't me, it's okay to have this experience, other people have this experience, and I can reach out to other people at this time. It sounds like you do in both a formal way through this monthly group and an informal way, just kind of incidentally when it occurs with friends.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's funny, like I feel like I have a few friends that are in therapy, and even like at a last happy hour, one of my friends was like, "How's your anxiety this week?" Like, mine is pretty bad. Like it feels like this, and like it's nice to have people and to just like share in a casual context too.
Yeah, I agree. And it's great when you know yourself well enough that you know you're not asking for too much in friendship, but rather you're able to share and kind of, again, have it be like a normal experience that makes you feel better connected. Um,
Yeah.
okay, well, that's great. Thanks so much for being part of this session, and we're happy to hear that you're doing well.
Thanks, Maggie.
Okay, you're welcome.